Hello. I put this video together to demonstrate some of the many steps that are involved in turning a piece of tree into a piece of collectible art. This is not a tutorial on how to turn. This is simply to give you an appreciation for the steps that are involved in making a piece of beautiful art. The whole process starts, of course, with the chainsaw and, you guessed it, with a tree. I'm going to cut it into a billet, which will then go into the shop and get turned. Beautiful. Now you take and carefully lay out a circle. The biggest single decision on what this piece is going to look like happens now with the chainsaw. Once a piece is cut off, it's really hard to get back on. Here we have it. One of the prettiest pieces of maple you'll see. Okay, so I'll take this now into the shop, mount it on the lathe, and we'll see what we got. I'm going to turn this into a bowl during the course of this video. I'm going to start by roughing this one out, and you'll see the various steps involved in that, and then how to do the finished turning a little later. I wanted to say that wood of this quality doesn't just grow on trees. These spalting, rotted lines in here will give a beautiful grain to the bowl when it's finished. We first attach what's known as a faceplate. That's so we can get this piece of wood onto the lathe. Okay, attached. Now, sure nothing goes bump in the night. I usually wear a suit of armor for this, but this will have to suffice. First thing I'm going to do is make it round to see what it is we have to work with. That's only going to take a couple hours. But here's the process. You take away everything that's not supposed to be a bowl. A little dicey at first. Gets easier as it goes. We've got this puppy roughed out. I've got the shape that I want, more or less. I've treated the interstices and the cracks in here with glue and epoxies and things, and I'm ready to turn the inside to hollow it out. I'll just level off the face of it. Then I'll start hollowing out the inside. Okay, now the piece has been rough turned. I've waxed it, painted it with a wax emulsion, and I've weighed it. And on the back here I put a tag that has where the wood came from, its weight on a particular date. It gets stacked up here with all the other candidates for turning, and it's going to stay here for anywhere from 3 months to maybe a year. During that time I'll periodically weigh it. When it stops losing weight, I know it stopped losing moisture and thereby ready to turn. I've left it about 1 inch thick. That's because wood does shrink and distort when it dries. And also the slowing of the drying tends to slow down the cracking that might occur. So this will be here for, as I say, 3 months to a year, and it'll get turned and only turned after it's dry. Okay, now we're fast forwarding almost a year in time while this has been sitting out there and drying. I know now that it has stopped losing weight in the last few months, so that therefore the moisture has gone out of that. It's ready to finish turn. So we'll remount this thing on the lathe. And you'll notice that it does not really turn true. It wobbles a little bit because as it's dried, it has shrunk in various different directions depending on the grain of the wood. So that's why we need to dry it in the first place, so that it doesn't do this after you finish turning. Only now is it ready to finish turn. You need first to get it round, and only then will we really be able to see what we can do with this piece of wood. So we got this puppy sanded, and I'm going to put a Danish oil on this, and here's how that's done. This is the moment turners live for, because all of a sudden you get to see what this thing is going to look like. The Danish oil is basically a varnish, but it's thinned out and it has dryers in it so that it dries a little faster. And it penetrates into the wood, which is why it's called a penetrating finish. And that protects the wood very well. It's also a good undercoat in case you wanted to put other finishes on top, particularly oil-based finishes. There you have it. Let that soak in for just a minute. And I like to polish it. Voila. Now that the outside has been turned and finished, it's time to finish turn the inside. And after that I will sand it and apply finish to that. After that's finished, I will reverse it on the lathe, and I will turn the bottom so that we turn away the screw holes and make a nice looking base for it to set on. Done. Well, not quite done. It'd have to come off the lathe. We'll do that in a few minutes. We finish the bottom and then maybe buff it after that, and then you've got a work of art.